it is time for our next session. And that will be with the wonderful Esra Ezici, who has come to talk to us all about how AI can save teachers time. Now, the following presentation is not an endorsement of any particular generative AI model. Use of generative AI tools should only be undertaken in accordance with your own organization's policies. And it's important to note that Oxford University Press content should not be input into any generative AI model without consent. But that said, I'd like to invite Esra to pop her screen on, put her camera on and get ready. So it is my absolute pleasure to welcome Esra Ezici to the stage. Esra is an English language teaching professional with a bachelor's degree from Hacettepe University. Her career, which began in 2000, includes diverse roles such as teacher, foreign languages coordinator, and teacher trainer. Esra has delivered training sessions globally. I am lucky to have attended many of them myself. And she's done both online and face-to-face training on a range of ELT topics. Currently, she is a senior professional development consultant and teacher trainer for Turkey, North Africa, and Central Asia at Oxford University Press. And she also trains internationally for the Oxford Teachers Academy courses that we've just been talking about. So, LTOC, show us some love in the chat box for Esra. Esra, welcome to the stage. It is all yours.
Thank you very much for that lovely introduction, Charlotte. Hi, everyone. Welcome to LTalk. I'm very excited to be here with you today. And in this session, we're going to be talking about how AI can save teachers' time. Let's dive in. So we'll begin with a story of two dedicated teachers, Mason and Aiden. I'd like you all to take a look at the pictures of these two dedicated teachers and think about how do you think their daily routines differ? By just looking at their facial expressions, what can you say about their daily routines? Please feel free to share your responses in the chat box. Mason looks a little bit stressed. Aiden looks content. How do you think their daily routines differ? Okay. Mason is super tired. Yes, Mason is stressed. Okay, so you know the reasons, right? So, well, Mason is a typical teacher, okay, who spends his time grading papers, creating extra resources, creating worksheets, giving feedback on his students' work, and teaching. And he struggles to find time to struggles to find time for his hobbies or to enjoy quality moments with his family and friends. Does it sound familiar to you? Most probably Mason's routine sounds familiar to many of us, right? It certainly resonates with my own experience. As a teacher for 21 years, I often found myself needing to create extra resources and write detailed lesson plans. I had to, like many of you, I had to create extra resources, supplementary materials, quizzes, worksheets, presentation slides, exit tickets. And I have to say, it was overwhelming and considerably time consuming. Well, do you have similar experiences? Okay. All right. So I believe you all have similar experiences, right? So now I have a question for you. Considering the time he spends on teaching, okay, I'm trying to move to the next slide. Okay. All right, my slides don't move for some reason. Okay, I'm trying to Okay. All right. Considering the time he spends on teaching, lesson planning, grading, and on administrative tasks and creating materials, how many hours do you think Mason works per year? We're going to be doing a little bit of maths, language teachers. Mason is an average teacher. How many hours do you think he works per year? $1,500, 650. Okay, thank you. 2,000. Okay, 2,000 hours. Let's see. According to a survey conducted by Nutmeg Education, an average teacher like Mason works 2,200 hours per year. Wow, too many hours, right? And this survey shows a teacher, the survey shows a teacher spends 1,170 hours on actual teaching, 450 hours planning and preparing for the class, 300 hours on grading, and 280 hours on other tasks. So we can say a teacher works outside the classroom as much as they work in the classroom, right? Does that sound about right for you? Yes, we spend a lot of time getting prepared for the lessons as well, right? So on the other hand, we're going to look at Aiden now. On the other hand, unlike Mason, Aiden uses AI to get prepared for his classes, significantly reducing his workload. So this allows him to finish his tasks efficiently and have plenty of time for his hobbies, to pursue his hobbies, and to enjoy quality moments with his friends and family. So my question is, are you more like Mason or Aiden? What do you think? Yes, we prepare more, right? This guy is smart, you're right. Yes, you're more like Mason? Okay, so we can say AI can turn your Mason-like days into Aiden-like days. Well, I've used AI to create these images. As you can see, they're not flawless, okay? So some of these images look really funny. However, I wanted to show you how you can use AI-generated images to introduce your learners to a new concept or topic. Okay, so because we can use AI tools, not only to AI tools help, not only to ease our workload, but also enhance our teaching practices. All right, so in this session, we're going to be talking about how AI can save you time by helping with lesson planning and creating teaching and assessment materials, differentiating your instruction, and creating presentations and games. Well, there is a plethora of AI-powered tools available, some free, some are paid with free credits. You might be familiar with some of these tools. We won't be covering all of these tools in this session, but I'm going to show you a couple of examples. These tools offer several advantages. You can differentiate your instruction. You can streamline your lesson planning processes. You can even get support for your professional development, and you can enhance your teaching practices. And last but not least, you can ease your workload. However, we need to take many factors. There are important considerations that we need to take into account while using these AI tools. First of all, we need to ensure it is the AI-generated output is relevant to our students' context, their needs, and also we need to critically evaluate the effectiveness and accuracy of the AI-generated output. These tools are not perfect. The output may include misinformation, or inaccuracies. So we should be wearing our educator's hat, critical thinking hats, and carefully review the output generated by AI. And I don't recommend relying on AI tools to generate text, especially factual text, for so many reasons. Because AI-generated texts might lack the complexity, variety, flow, and coherence of human authors' content, and they might include misinformation. So we need to be very careful while using AI to generate resources. And we're going to talk about that later in the session. AI is just a tool, and its impact on education, whether positive or negative, depends on how we as educators use it. So we're going to look at these two large language models, multimodal language models. Have you ever used ChatGPT? Please type 1 in the chat box if you have ever used ChatGPT, and 2 if you have ever used Copilot, and 1 and 2 if you've tried both. 1, no, okay. All right, yes, 1 and 2. Okay, so mostly you've used ChatGPT. In this session, I'm not going to show you how to use ChatGPT, but we're going to look at Copilot. However, both tools work more or less in the same way. So what can we do with these tools? To get most from these tools, we need to know how to craft prompts, right? So and the AI model generates an output, and we need to carefully review the output to see if it is relevant to our learner's context. And if we are not happy with the output, then we refine it. So what can we do using these models? We can create rubrics, lesson plans, brainstorm ideas, write role plays and stories, create grammar and vocabulary exercises, generate questions for a reading text. Thank you, everyone. And we can even generate images. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple of prompt examples. Okay, now look at the prompt on the slide. Generate a story with 10 gaps for my elementary level students to fill in with the correct form of the verbs in the simple past tense. So our focus is the simple past tense. How many gaps? 10. And what is the level of my students? Elementary. So I need to provide the model with all of these details to get a better output from the model. And let's see what it generated. So here is the AI generated output. Although it says, here is a fun story with 10 gaps, when you look at the output, there are 12 gaps in the story. So this shows actually the importance of reviewing the output carefully. It might not generate what you wanted the model to perform, okay? So this is not a big deal, but you need to carefully review the output. Now, let's take a look at another prompt. Create an open-ended Mad Libs game for my intermediate level students. My students level, this is important, and a Mad Libs game, I can be creative with these tools, right? So I don't know if you're familiar with Mad Libs game. It is a word game where players or students fill in blanks with different types of words like nouns, adjectives, or verbs to create a funny story. So let's see if this prompt was good enough to generate the desired output. Well, let's take a look at this. It looks good. However, when you look at the theme of the story, it is about a day at the zoo, but this is for my intermediate level students. So something was missing in the prompt, right? So to make it age appropriate, we also need to define, we might need to define and state the age of our learners to make it more age appropriate. Now I'll be sharing, I'll be switching to switching my screen to show you how you can create resources on Copilot. Okay, so here I'm sharing my screen. Okay, here we are. So let me show you what, with a little tweak in the prompt, how the output changes. So here again, another prompt to create a Mad Libs game. Create an open-ended Mad Libs game. Open-ended is important, otherwise it could create a closed-ended Mad Libs game. We don't want it. For my intermediate level students. My students are 12 years old, make it age appropriate. So as you can see, the output changes completely with a little tweak in the prompt. So I think this is more appropriate for my learners. So let me share with you how you can use this game in the classroom. First, you provide your learners, you divide your learners into groups, okay? And into groups of 4 or 3, and then your students fill in the blanks with either a plural noun or an adjective or a body of water. Okay, so you can they can be creative while filling out the feedback form to come up with funny stories. Okay, so it also, Copilot also gives you some prompt templates. You can click on these to refine your prompt, or if you're not happy with this output, you can give it further prompts. Now I'm using the paid version. However, the free version is more or less the same. The layout is slightly different. Let me show you how the free version looks. Okay, it looks like this. All right, and I'm going to use the paid version because I saved all of my conversations here to be able to deliver it more efficiently. All right, so this was a Mad Libs game, and you can use these prompts on any large language model. So here I'm going to show you how you can create a grammar exercise, for example. So here's a grammar exercise. Generate a multiple choice exercise for the simple past tense at the elementary level. Again, my students level, a multiple choice exercise, and include 5 questions with options. We need to clearly define what we want the model to perform. And here are 5 multiple choice questions. We need to review it to see if it is correct. And on ChatGPT, you can simply copy this and paste it on a Word document to create your worksheet. On the free version of Copilot, you won't be seeing this copy icon. Instead, you can just highlight it and then copy it and paste it on a Word document. What else can we do? We can create vocabulary exercises. Let me show you an example. I'm an EFL teacher. I want to teach the following words to my elementary level students: reunion, festival, parade, fanfare, fireworks. Write simple definitions for these words. And here is the output. And you can give it further prompts, like generate a word definition matching exercise. You don't even need to repeat the words, vocabulary items again, because it remembers your earlier prompt and links the output to your earlier prompt. So it is important to start a new chat for each new prompt, okay? And so for each new task, we need to start a new chat. So let's see what it has done. Here are the words with their definitions, and you can also ask it to generate a gap fill exercise with simple prompts. It generates a decent output. And here is a gap fill exercise. As language teachers, you know what works in the classroom, right? You are the experts, so you can create materials using your expertise as a teacher. Generate one open-ended question for each word. This is to personalize the vocabulary used. So you can also generate these, and you can use these resources, activities as an exit ticket, or you can assign these as homework so that your students can practice the vocabulary items that they've been introduced to in the classroom. And another thing that you can do is you can create lesson plans with these tools. So here is my prompt. I'm an EFL teacher teaching elementary level students. Help me write a lesson plan. Here are the details. So for lesson plans, we need to give more details. Lesson objective is important. Students' ages is important because we want the output to be age appropriate again, or the suggested activities to be age appropriate. Class length and teaching methodology, engage, study, activate. This is interesting. Even if you don't know how to plan a lesson, how to implement engage, study, activate lesson to teach grammar, you can learn from these models by simply creating a lesson plan with the help of these models and implementing it in the classroom. So here is the lesson plan. It takes less than 10 seconds for the model to generate a response. Engage 10 minutes and some ideas here. Study 15 minutes. Practice. In the practice phase, so provide a worksheet, activate 15 minutes. And it also lists the materials needed and gives you some ideas for assessment for learning. So you don't necessarily have to implement this lesson plan as it is. You can make some adjustments, or you can just learn how to plan your lessons by implementing this engage, study, activate methodology. You can try other methodologies like project-based learning, inquiry-based learning, or task-based methodology, depending on the lesson or the objective of your lesson. So you can also brainstorm ideas. I want to differentiate my instructions, suggest some ideas for this lesson is my next prompt. So it gives me a lot of ideas how I can differentiate my instruction by content, by process, by product, by learning environment, and some examples of example activities for differentiation. So you can learn actually, this is how you can get support for your professional development as well. And it takes only maybe 10 seconds or so for the model to generate these output. What else can we do? We can also create rubrics. And instead of using generic rubrics for our writing tasks, for example, we can specifically design rubrics for each specific task. So I'm an EFL teacher teaching high school students. I want to assess my students' writing. This is my context. I need to clearly define it. Here is the writing task. Write an article about transport in your city. Create a rubric in a table format with the following sections. I need to give these details so that it can generate a better output. And the total score is important here. And let's take a look at the rubric it generated. I think it did a great job, but still I need to review it as a teacher because I know what is the best approach, or you may not be happy with these criteria. So you can see the details, total score 25 points. You can make the necessary changes to the rubric. And on the paid version of Copilot, you can download it as an Excel file. However, it is not possible on the free version of Copilot. However, you can use ChatGPT and do exactly the same thing. You can download an Excel spreadsheet. You can download the rubric as an Excel spreadsheet. All right, so what else can we do? We can also create images using these models. These models are now multimodal language models. You can upload folders and prompt these models using your files and generate images. So here is my prompt: generate an image of a 60-year-old lady looking at an old photo while standing in front of the Galata Tower in the style of a 21st century painting. She looks sad and lonely. You can be more specific about the details of the image. And here is the image it generated, like in 30 seconds or so. So you can use these images in the classroom, but how? Matt talk about Bloom's taxonomy, right? Taxonomy. So what can we do? So after generating our images, these are again not perfect because like she looks like reading something behind the photo image here. Photo here. And this one is more appropriate. So I can use this one because it is a better image. So you can, after creating the images, you can ask the model to generate questions about the old woman, applying the 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy, to be able to use these images in your classes and asking questions on each level of Bloom's taxonomy. So what is the old woman holding in her hand? Remembering, level, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. If you're not happy with these questions, you can refine the prompt. If you think these questions are not at your student's level, so in the prompt, you need to specify your students' levels as well. So as I mentioned, you can be creative with these tools. You can even create song lyrics, okay? So let me show you how you can create song lyrics. So if, for example, you'd like to teach some vocabulary items and chunks, in this case, I'm going to create some lyrics using these vocabulary items. Write the lyrics of a song about friendship using these vocabulary words or and chunks. Friendly, get along, hang out, rely on, make friends, and have fun. These are the vocabulary items that I'd like my learners to practice. So it generates the song lyrics, okay? And then I can ask a Copilot to use the lyrics and create a gap fill exercise for my learners to practice the vocabulary items, and it generates a gap fill exercise. You might be wondering, so what are you going to do with this? Are you going to sing it yourself? No, I'm going to show you another tool which will help you create songs. So I'm going to copy the song lyrics, and I'm going to use a tool called Suno. I don't know if you're familiar with this one. This is suno.com, a platform that allows you to create songs. And you sign up for it first, and then you go to create. There are 2 options here, custom mode. And here you can describe a song, and it generates a song along with the lyrics and the tune. And in the custom mode, you can provide the tool with your own song lyrics. In this case, we use Copilot to generate the lyrics of our song to focus on certain vocabulary items, right? So I'm going to show you how we can create songs. We type a style of music, okay? You can say rock, pop, or K-pop, whatever you like, and we give it a title. And when we click on create, it generates a song just in 30 seconds or so. And let me show you, I hope you'll be able to hear the music as well. Let me show you what we have created with this.
We found each other side by side. Friendly faces, hearts so strong. Together we always get along.
Okay, and let's hear the next one.
In a world so big and wide, we found each other side by side. Friendly faces, hearts so strong.
Okay, this is pretty fun. We don't have time to listen to the whole song. What can you do? How can you can play it online, or otherwise you can just click on these little, these 3 dots, and you can download it as a video, okay? So the video comes in a karaoke format. You can even download an audio form, downloaded in an audio file format. All right, so that is all about Suno and Microsoft Copilot. Let me get back to my slides. Okay, let me share my slides. Okay. How's it going so far, everyone? Suno, Suno is gives you 50 daily credits. So I'm using the free version, and I created like hundreds of songs on this platform, and still I have lots of credits. So we can say it is free. Okay, it gives a lot of free credits. So, all right, let's move on to the next part. So now I'm going to show you how you can create resources and differentiate your resources using a tool called Diffit. You might be familiar with this tool, but I'll be showing you how you can create resources, okay, with this tool. All right, let me share my screen, and fingers crossed it will work for me. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad that you like the ideas. Okay, I'm trying to share my screen. So here is Diffit. We click on this. You need to, again, sign up for this platform. This has a premium version and a paid version. A premium version and a free version. And with the free version, you can create a lot of resources, okay? You can either enter a topic, theme, or question here, or you can use an article, the URL of an article, or a YouTube video here to create resources. Or if you have a text, you can upload your text as a PDF or type your text here. Or you can provide the tool with a list of vocabulary words, okay? And what does it do? It generates a reading text along with some vocabulary items and some questions. All right, so we start from here, okay? And when we click on this icon, it takes us to this page. And now here we can either enter a topic here or the URL of an article or a YouTube video, or you can submit a text or upload a PDF, or you can provide it with a vocabulary list, and it creates resources based on the material that you're sharing. Literally anything. I'm going to show you how you can create some resources on this topic, animal habitats. So you can choose a lower grade level. If you're teaching fifth grades, for example, you can choose a lower grade to differentiate the resources according to your student's level. And we can choose the type of reading. I'm choosing informational text, okay? And then we get the resources. All right, and now it will generate some resources, a text along with with some vocabulary items and multiple choice questions. Okay, here is the reading passage. I hope you are able to see this right now. Okay, let me check it. Yes, we're there. It provides you with some images from Google, and you can choose the image that you'd like to use in your resource, and it generates a text reading passage. I'm not a big fan of AI generated text. However, there is something that I'd like to show you here. This tool allows you to see inside citations, and you can see where these sentences were pulled from, okay? And also you can adjust the length. You can make it shorter or medium or longer. And let's see how it will work. Okay, so here is a text with all the inside citations. So it is easier for me to check the information, if it is accurate or not. And you can see all the resources, all the sources here. And let's hide sources. What else can we do here? You can edit the text or copy it and paste it on a Word document. It also gives a summary of the text with some key vocabulary words from the text, along with their definitions and the example sentences, and some multiple choice questions. You can add more questions, and here are some short answer questions and open-ended prompts. So what can we do with this? You can either say export it to a printable document, or you can export it to Google Forms. Let's see how it looks on Google Forms. You can even determine the parts that you'd like to include in your Google form quiz, okay? So I don't want the key vocabulary items, okay, open-ended prompts. I just want some multiple choice questions, that is all. Let's see how it will look on Google Forms. It generates the activity. You can also, in the free version, every month, it provides you with some free resources as well. as I mentioned earlier, the most important thing is reviewing the output very carefully. So here's the reading text. You can make the necessary adjustments here, okay? And delete the parts that you're not happy with, just clicking on it and deleting it like this, okay? And you also need to check if the answer key is correct, because sometimes it can choose the wrong answer as the correct answer. And then you can share it with your learners. They'll be seeing this forms like this, okay? So very easily, you don't need to retype all the questions to create a Google Forms quiz. All right, so I don't want to get back to my slides, but I will share another tool, okay, to save time, which is Ghibli. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of this tool. Let me share. Let me see. Yes, you're there now. Oh, thank God. All right. So Ghibli, on Ghibli, you can create presentation slides or games for your learners with the power of AI. So I'm going to show you how to create a PowerPoint presentations on this platform. We head over to this icon, create. I can either create a quiz manually or an AI-generated quiz. These quizzes are like Kahoot games, okay? But now I'm going to show you how you can generate a lesson and a PowerPoint presentation on this tool. So again, I'm going to use the create a PowerPoint presentation on this topic, animal habitat, and the topic is, again, I'm going to write animal, okay, habitats, okay. And you can choose a grade level. It is great to differentiate your resources. So for example, if you're going to use it for in your third grade classes, you can choose the reading level as same as grade level or slightly a lower grade level to differentiate it. And you don't need to create all of these, complete all of these sections using AI power, because I'm using the free version and I have limited tokens. It gives like 20,000 tokens for free monthly. I guess as far as I can remember, it was on my slide. And the important thing is we need to submit our learning objectives so that it generates something relevant to our students' needs. So here are my objectives. Learners will be able to identify different animal habitats and match animals to their appropriate habitats. So then with this learning objective, I don't need to complete the other parts right now, and I can create some slides. I can create a full lesson, some content on this topic, or some did you know questions or discussion questions. Let me create some PowerPoint, a PowerPoint presentation, a full lesson. And the next step is I need to review it carefully because as I mentioned before, it might include some misinformation or maybe the language is not appropriate for my learners, okay? I can make the necessary adjustments. The good thing is it also adds some images. So when you click on each slide, it adds it to your presentation. I will add all of these 11 slides, okay? You can delete the slides, make the necessary adjustments, or if you're not happy with the image, you can simply click on it and use AI power to change the images. I can present it on this tool, or I can, when you click share, you can download it as a PowerPoint or as a Google Slides. So I think this is cool. It will save you a lot of time, but as I mentioned earlier, you need to carefully review the output. We can't rely on AI generated output, okay?
And so that's 10 minutes.
4 minutes, okay.
10 minutes.
Yeah. All right, thank you. And this was all about Ghibli. One more thing that I want to show you, let's go back to the dashboard. You can also create quizzes I won't create a quiz and I won't be able to show you how to play the games in the classroom. You can just go to this platform to familiarize yourselves. However, I can show you how you can create an AI-generated quiz. Here again, we submit a topic, or you can paste a text here. If you have a text, reading text, you can paste it here, and it generates a game, Kahoot-like game, using your text. Or it could be a YouTube video. You can submit the URL of a YouTube video, or simply you can upload a document. Okay, so it generates, although it gives you limited credits, you can still play around and see what is possible here. It is great fun. And you can also see the other games designed by other users, created by other users on this platform. Well, now let me go back to my presentation slides. Okay. All right. So I'll be addressing your questions if I still have time. But yeah, that was Ghibli, and it gives you like 20,000 free AI text generation tokens per month. So you can, and to sum up, many thanks for your patience. I would say it is very important to start small. If you're not familiar with these AI power tools, I recommend starting small. Just only familiarize yourself with only one tool. When you get the once you get the hang of it, you can go on exploring other tools. And we always need to review the output to ensure it is accurate. This is extremely important. Your students are in your hands. You need to be wearing your educator's hat, right? And take a pedagogy first approach. You know what works in your classroom. We can't use those resources or materials just because AI generated it. You are the experts. You know what works in your language classroom. So you can always critically evaluate the effectiveness and relevance of the AI generated output. And try to avoid generating factual text with Copilot or ChatGPT. As I mentioned earlier, the output might include misinformation, and we don't want our learners to learn inaccurate things from us, right? This is really dangerous. So we need to be careful about that. And always read the terms and services of AI tools to make sure what your rights are and how each tool works, and avoid sharing personal and student data. Some AI tools may not comply with data protection rules, okay? So we need to be careful about those too. Charlotte, okay, I think we still have time, like 5 minutes for the question.
Yeah, we've got a few minutes for questions, Esra. Okay. So if you want to have a look at the Q&A tab just next to the chat box, we've got a few in there already that you might want to look through.
All right. So, okay, I'm going to do my best to address your questions right now. Well, a question. I would like to ask if these pictures and generated in Ghibli or Diffit are free to use everywhere. Well, actually, you can only use it for educational purposes. Okay, so no one can claim copyright over AI-generated content. You can't sell, you can't make money using these tools or resources. You can just use them in the classroom with your learners. Okay, and another question I'm trying to Charlotte, can you help me with the questions, because I'm unable to see the questions in the Q&A?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me see. So someone, Marina asks, can these platforms be used for languages other than English, like if you're teaching Spanish, for example?
Yes, definitely. I didn't tell you about that, but on Diffit, there are more than 50 languages. So you can create resources in different languages on Ghibli, for example. And not on Ghibli, you can create resources on some languages. I can't remember them all, but Spanish was one of them. On Diffit, you can create resources in more than 50 languages on Diffit. And
Lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, depending on the language of your prompt, Copilot or ChatGPT, these kinds of language models would provide you with an output in your target language.
Excellent. Now, NASA asks, why should we avoid creating factual texts?
Well, if first of all, AI generated text may lack the coherence, flow, complexity, and variety of human authored content. You can, when you look at AI generated text, you can understand that it was generated by AI, right? Very easily. And that is something because we want to use authentic materials in our classes written by human authors. And another thing is, if there's a piece of misinformation in a text, and if you can't understand that because if you're not an expert at that field, for example, and if there is a piece of misinformation in a text, you can't spot it, and your students learn inaccurate things from the text in the classroom. So we need to be careful about that.
Okay, fantastic. Lots of people asking a variation on this question: what's better, ChatGPT or Copilot? So maybe you'd like to go with that one there.
Well, I have to say, recently Copilot upgraded its platform, and now it doesn't allow us in the free version. It's restricted some of the features. So it was, I think it was better like only a month ago, but now some of the features are restricted in the free version, and they're behind the paywall. And so ChatGPT offers more for free. So yeah, so I think that explains. So you can use both, but ChatGPT's responses could be slightly better. Because it gives a lot in the free version. Like you can use the premium version of ChatGPT, but it gives you lots of free credits daily. So I hope that explained.
Thank you very much, Esra. We are coming to an end. The time has come.
Thank you. Thanks for your participation and your patience, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the conference.